Hi, my name is Xiong.
My name is Xinlei.
Hello, my name is Luo Jirui.
Hello, my name is Liang Xinrui.
Our group's topic is about property inheritance as a property management instrument. Here are our group members. We separate this part of 6 parts: introduction, problem statement, the Quran and the Prohans and Hadiths, the impact of the planning and management of Islamic property inheritance on society, the suggestion, improvement, or challenges, and last is the conclusions. The first part, introduction. Islamic estate planning is one of the crucial elements in the Islamic wealth planning and management. Wealth is one part of sustenance given by Allah to all mankind. Based on the understanding of this Allah's words, it can be concluded that Muslims need to seek livelihood in this world, such as fortune can be in the forms of wealth or material possessions such as income, salary and commission, vehicles, and residence. Nevertheless, the wealth must be acquired in a lawful way and not contrary to the Islamic law. At the same token, Islamic encourages Muslims to spend and donate their wealth in the path of Islam. Allah also provides guidance not to spend the wealth in wasteful, miserable, or stingy ways. Once the wealth has been accumulated, it is necessary for Muslims to inherit their wealth after their deaths according to the inheritance system. The second part is the problem statement. If you are Muslim, you have an obligation to ensure the proper distribution of wealth upon your death. Doing so constitutes an act of worship to Allah as mere trustees of wealth. It ensures that we follow Allah's commandment for how He wants this wealth to be passed to those remaining in the world. Property inheritance issues are governed by Sharia law. Unlike Western culture, where a person may freely give their property as they choose, Islamic law governs who can receive your wealth and in what proportions. By establishing these rules, we avoid falling prey to subjectivity and favoritism. Islamic law for property distribution can be challenged to understand and require scholarly knowledges of the Quran and Sunnah to follow correctly. Persons knowledgeable about Islamic inheritance in the United States and applying them in tandem with the secular laws can be even more challenging. And then the third part.
My name is Xinrui. I will continue the third part. Next, the concept inheritance, also called inheritance, is the transfer of the property of the heir and the inheritance of the death of the property owner. The term inheritance also means the property itself. In modern society, this process is regulated in detail by law. In the continental European civil law, the relevant branch is usually called the inheritance law. Next. For the clear explain in Islamic country, all aspects of Islam business are closely related to the long history of Islamic culture, and the planning and management of health is also part of the business of Islamic culture. At the same time, Islamic health plan is one of the key elements in Islamic wealth planning and management. In Islam, it is understood that the real owner of all wealth is Allah. Man only owns worth by us as guardian, for which purpose he has been made vicegerent Khalifa of Allah on earth. Wealth is the part of all mankind best owned by God. As Allah said in Quran, Islam allows people to accumulate wealth. Next. Based on the understanding of those words of Allah, it can be conducted that Muslims need to make a living in this world. Such words can be in the form of words or material, such as income, salary, and commission, vehicle, and residence. However, words must be only legal and must not void Islam law. At the same time, Islam encourages the Muslim to spend and donate their words on the path of Islam. Allah also provides guidance not to spend on work in wasteful, miserable, or petty ways. One's words is a conduct calculated. Muslims must inherit their words after death according to the inheritance system. Next. This the instrument in Quran and the Hadith. Next. For the data collections in Malaysia, according to the Islam law, inheritance follows the Islam birthday inheritance principle, which determines the sheer scope and the means of inheritance related to the deceased personal estates. According to Islam law, 1/3 of the total real estate value can be determined using wazan or Islam will. According to civil law, inheritance is subject to many regulations. Inheritance is defined by the 1958 Distribution Act and the Inheritance Family Clause Act in 1971. The civil law allows individuals to determine the ownership of the property after the death of the property through the use of a will. If a person dies without a will, the estate will be divided among the surviving family members according to legal precedent. Essentially, this means that there is no clean divisional guidance. Sabah follows different.
The impact of planning and management of Islamic particular inheritance on society. It's better for you, said the prophet, that if you inherit this wealthy, that's the leave that's poor begging other, and whatever you spent for Allah's sake will be considered charitable, didn't even and a handful of food you put in your wife's mouth. This is essence of Islamic state planning, which is provides such assistance to those in need to help give advice generally to plan for several possible contingencies in relation to your essence with the available beneficiaries and the say above everything else to the execution of what has been instructed by the tenant upon his or her departure, pertaining to the thing, so within the ample and scope of such instruction, and naturally, which within the constraints of the Sharia as practiced and recognized in Malaysia.
The suggestion, improvements, or challenges. We can say that some people might lack the understanding of the actual concepts of inheritance. So maybe the government can implies the propaganda on the law. From the above, we can see there are a lot unclaimed money in Malaysia, so government should remind citizens to claim their money. For citizens, the most important thing is they should make a clear early planning and systematic management after the death. The calculation of wills decides has to be stopped until the distribution on the inheritance to heirs entitled is complete. Suggestion: there is a bad circumstance in the individuals tend to face if they do not plan on how to manage and distribute their assets after they die. Unfortunately, many Malaysians still do not have a will. Muslim people are supposed to prepare the plan from wills distribution through Islamic estate planning. The estate planning should be prepared for two elements of times: planning and coordinating of wills distribution before the death and the planning after the death. The last part is conclusion. Islam is a religion that is fair and perfect. It contains a variety of the regulations and guidelines for regulating human life become more organized. Among other guidelines, it fixes the Muhammad system includes a system of inherit land or inheritance law known as the Faraday. Islam inheritance distribution system known as the inheritance under a distribution system, the best in the division of the property. That's all our presentation.